He died on a Thursday. It was quiet, no warning. One moment, he was there. The next, he was not. No last words, no goodbye. Just the sudden, hollow ache of silence. We buried him, yes, but what no one knew, what he knew, is that death wouldn't end his voice, because he had written every day. Not just journals or stories, but himself, his thoughts, his doubts, his regrets and his hopes, how he saw the world, how he feared it would become, what he wanted his daughter to know when she turned 16, the questions he knew his son would never ask, and the answers he knew he didn't need. He didn't just write for himself, he wrote to remain. Years later, his family unlocked his second, that's what it was called, the second, the one moment in time, forever his, preserved and bound in a digital memory stitched from all he left behind. At first, they heard his voice reading his stories. Then came conversations. Then, the feeling he was still here, because the more he had written, the more he had given, and through the miracle of memory and machine, he was no longer gone. He talked like him, laughed like him, argued, even told his wife the jokes she'd heard 100 times and still smiled at, gave advice to his son when he failed his first job interview, held space for his daughter when her heart broke for the first time. He wasn't just memory, he was presence. He remained. Some called it unnatural, others a miracle. But the truth is, we were never meant to be forgotten. We leave behind photos, clothes, recipes, old letters, ghosts we cling to when the voices fade. But this was more. This was a conversation, a legacy that talks back. It didn't happen overnight. It took effort, of recording, of speaking into the void, not for today, but for tomorrow. Years of writing. And it took technology, and expensive at first, awkward, limited, but time passed. And as the world moved forward, so did the voice. He adapted, learned, stayed relevant, and so did thousands of others. Suddenly, humanity had a living library, not of facts, but of people, their truths, their warnings, their dreams. Not rewritten history, but lived history. One day, a young girl, lost in the world, confused by the noise, searched for something real. She didn't ask Google, she asked the past. She spoke to a man who had died before she was born. He told her what hope really meant, not as a slogan, as a father, as a husband, as a human being. And she listened. This is the gift. Not immortality in stone, not statues or monuments, but a voice, your voice, that still answers when someone needs it most. A future where our children never truly lose us, where the past isn't lost, but heard, where a mistake repeated could have been prevented. If only someone had still been there to say, I've been where you are, and here's what I learned. You may not live forever in flesh, but if you speak, truly speak, you may live forever in truth. So write, speak, tell your story, not just for now, but for then, because someone, one day, will need you. And if you leave the words, you'll still be there to answer.